The house that kept the seasons. The elder was sorting four things upon the table: a length of white thread, a bundle of red wool, a cup of milk, and an old bone comb resting in clean ash. A young woman watched him. "Why keep them apart?" she asked. The elder laid the white thread straight. "Because I once knew a house where every woman wanted another woman's season." He settled back beside the fire. The maiden grew tired of waiting. She watched the wife wear red wool and mistook intimacy for freedom. So she muddied and damaged her white thread before any worthy man had placed a household around her. The elder touched the red wool. The wife looked longingly at loose ladies. She began giving her laughter, attention, and warmth beyond the roof where she had vowed them. Her husband sometimes found bread on the table, but often found only sorrow and sight coaxing the next life. He lifted the cup. The mother wearied of small hands reaching for her. She called milk noise and dependence a theft of herself, of her feelings, of her own future. Her children were kept alive, but they learned to hate their father and run from responsibility. Last, he took up the bone comb. And the grandmother despised winter. She spoke only of her vanished beauty and her status in the market. She kept no stories for the young. The grave sank beneath weeds, while old names died beneath her teeth. The fire shifted softly. That house held no maiden, wife, mother, and grandmother, the elder said. It held no true seasons. The young woman looked at the four objects. "What became of them?" "The maiden had children with many men, but never received of name nor roof. The wife forced her husband to wander in the trees to find a source of warmth, and then blamed him for leaving. The mother's children grew and scattered, poisoning the communities they landed in. When the grandmother died, no one could remember anything, let alone that she left her belongings to a hound, and thus they received nothing for the future." The elder turned the bone comb once in his hand. Each woman reached sideways instead of ripening forward. He then placed the objects in order again. Across the river stood another hall. There the maiden sat among the elder women with white thread in her hands. She listened while they worked, learned the stitches, kept herself guarded, and did not spend spring merely because summer looked warm. When an honorable marriage carried her into the next season, the woman replaced the white thread with red wool. As wife, she kept close to her husband. Bread rose beneath her cloth. His cloak was mended before the tear widened. When his boots crossed the threshold, the gladness in her face told him that his feet had brought him somewhere worth returning to. In time, milk marked another turning. She became a mother. Children filled the room with cries, questions, quarrels, and laughter. She fed them, corrected them, washed them, and gathered them beneath their father's heading. Their father's heading. The house grew louder, but not looser. Years passed. Her daughters took up white thread. Her sons brought wives beneath the roof. The red wool moved into younger hands, and the milk cup stood beside another. Her own bearing years closed. She did not mourn herself as though womanhood had ended. The elder said, The elder mother washed the milk from her hands and took up the bone comb. She learned which child carried the old manners, which herb eased a fever, which quarrel had begun before the young were born, and which names must never be allowed to vanish. When the hearth was clean, she kept the ash. When the household doubled, she remembered. When the household doubted, she remembered too. When the younger woman confused haste for wisdom, she corrected them without envy. The elder placed the bone comb into the ash. In that hall, no woman stole from the season ahead, or clung to the season behind. The maiden guarded, the wife remained, the mother nourished, and the grandmother remembered. And because each lived her own season worthily, he said, each was prepared for the next. The young woman took up the white thread. It seems quiet. Spring often is. She ran it carefully through her fingers. And when my seasons change? The elder nodded toward the red wool, the milk, and the ash. Then receive what comes next without betraying what brought you there. From the inner room came a sound of a mother soothing her child. Near the door, a wife laughed softly as her husband returned. Beside the hearth, the grandmother began correcting a maiden's crooked stitch. The elder smiled. There. The whole year beneath one roof.